I won't use the term traditional because the term traditional comes from the Latin traditio, which means one who has traded his lands. And it's not by accident that the Crown, when it makes us talk about native title, the first thing our mobs have to do is agree that we are the traditional owners, because a traditional owner is someone who has traded his land to someone else. So by just participating in the verbal discourse, they're getting us to admit that they own our lands. Secondly, native title. If you want to know where native title really comes from, on the 24th of October 1970, there was a resolution number 262525 created in the UN. And there's an important section in there that says that the peoples in the states, in other words the tribes for example in Australia, have the right to make a couple of decisions. One of those decisions is that we can integrate into the sovereign state, in this case Australia, or alternatively we can give that sovereign state notice that we want them to decolonise our lands, and we are going to exercise our free will and our right to self-determination, and we're going to undertake self-governance, and they must vacate our territory. When we participate in native title, what we are doing is we are integrating with their sovereign state and acquiescing all of our sovereign rights, including land title, to them. If you want to know what native title is, native title at law, and you can go and find a good law dictionary like Black's or Bouvier's, if anyone wants to have a look back at camp, I've got one, I've got both of them actually. Aboriginal law, Aboriginal title rather, is title over lands held by Indigenous persons or groups where the land has been colonised. In other words, in every aspect of their little scam called native title, we have to admit that they have colonised, they have taken, and they own and they hold sovereignty over our lands. Nothing the government gives us is by accident, and everything they give us is fraudulent. Even down to the point when they give us our names at birth, and they write our names in capital letters, and they use a process called capitis diminutio maxima, which is another legal process you can find in a good legal dictionary. Your name's written in capital letters, you are a corporate slave, and you have no human rights. That's why the Crown can come and take our children. Because once you've attained this status of capitis diminutio maxima, they own you, and your children, and your children's children. The reason we're standing for sovereignty is because nothing else will work for our people. The Crown does not own us, the Crown does not own our lands, and the meaning of sovereignty and the path forward, the meaning of sovereignty is absolute authority over ourselves and freedom of our souls, and the right to make our own decisions, and the path forward is in the opposite direction to where the Crown's going.